Good evening, everyone, and you're very welcome to our live panel talks this evening. We're kicking off now at 7 o'clock with our panel about our Springboard Plus programs. So thank you for joining us. Today we have, I'll introduce our panel. I'm Cleo Devaney and I'm the Marketing and Student Recruitment Manager here at ATU Sligo. We have a live Q&A happening at the moment as well. So if you've come to the event and you have some questions for our panel or for any other topics that may be carried out throughout the evening, please do go to the Ask a Question section, and we have a team of people ready and waiting to answer your questions. So just to let you know the format of the talk, I will be talking to our panel here, and each panelist will cover a range of questions, and then we will kind of sum up at the end. So it should last about 20 minutes in total. So I'll start off then by introducing Catherine O'Reilly. She's our first panel member, and Catherine, thank you for joining us today. You are our Springboard Coordinator here at ATU Sligo.
Yes, I am indeed.
Next on the panel is Stephen Daly, and Stephen Daly is a lecturer in biopharmaceutical sciences. So thank you, Stephen, for joining us.
No problem.
And finally, we have Fergal McGrath. So Fergal McGrath is a current student ready to graduate from one of our Springboard Plus funded programs. So Fergal, thanks for coming along, and we'll talk in detail about your experience studying online at ATU Sligo as well shortly.
Great, thanks, Cleo.
So the topic of our talk today is Springboard Plus. So it's recently the funding has been confirmed in terms of what courses will be funded for Springboard this year. And I know a lot of people are interested in finding out a lot more about that. So Catherine, as our resident expert at ATU Sligo, we'll start off with you around the 2022 programme. So if you could give a little overview around the courses that have been funded and just kind of, what that means in terms of what is funding.
Okay, thank you, Cleo. So I'm delighted to be with you this evening, just to let you know that the HEA actually have approved us to deliver 55 Springboard Plus programs across the whole ATU. So that's ATU Sligo, ATU Donegal and ATU Galway. So it's interesting to note we've actually been approved to deliver these programs for the forthcoming academic year, but also for the 23-24 academic year and for the 24-25 academic year. So in terms of ATU Sligo, we've actually been approved to deliver 17 of our own programs. We've actually been successful in our applications for Springboard funding since 2011, and I think that in itself is indicative of a fantastic history that we have in designing and delivering programs which the HEA have recognised to be those that meet skills gaps identified by employers around the country. We also partner with NIBRT and NUI Galway. NIBRT is the National Institute for Biopharmaceutical Research and Training, and that adds an additional 5 programs to our suite of programs that we're able to deliver via Springboard. So traditionally, we have the 3 traditional faculties. We have Business and Social Sciences, we have Engineering and Design, and we have Science, and we've been approved to deliver programs across the 3 faculties at various levels of the National Framework of Qualifications from level 6 to level 9. So just to give you an idea of the programs that we've been approved to deliver in the Faculty of Science, we have a level 6 cert in Practices in Health Informatics, a level 7 cert in Biopharmaceutical Processing, a level 7 cert in Bioprocess Engineering, a level 8 cert in Biopharmaceutical Science, a level 8 cert in Med Tech Reg Affairs and Quality, a level 9 cert in Food and Nutrition Product Development, and a level 9 cert in Health Project Management. So in our Faculty of Engineering and Design, then we've been approved to deliver level 6 certificate in Water and Wastewater Operations, a level 6 cert in Validation Technologies, a level 7 cert in Lean Sigma Quality, a level 7 cert in Mechatronic Engineering, a level 8 cert in Computer Networks and Cloud Infrastructure, a level 8 2-year higher diploma in Computing, a level 9 certificate in Geotechnical Structural Engineering, and a level 9 cert in Mechanical and Electronic Quantity Surveying. And then we've been approved to deliver 2 level 6 programs in our Faculty of Business and Social Sciences, a level 6 cert in Digital Marketing Practice, and a level 6 cert in Social Media Marketing. Now, with the exception of the final 2 that I just mentioned in Business and Social Sciences, the Springboard platform is open to accept applications for all other 15 programs. The The reason being that the digital marketing practice and social media marketing have a January 2023 start, so they won't be open for applications until October time. So all of the information on all of our programs can be found either on our own designated Springboard page at our website at www.itsligo.ie or on the Springboard Plus platform itself at www.springboardcourses.ie. And we also have an ATU wide quick guide that can be viewed and downloaded on our Springboard page on our IT Sligo or our ATU Sligo website.
Great. No, that's brilliant, Catherine. Thanks for that. I suppose just that's a great overview of everything that's being funded. And just one thing to mention, that all the programs that have been funded in Sligo are delivered online. So again, yes, they're open. I suppose if you're eligible, they can be taken by anybody, you know, who's interested in studying with ourselves. You don't have to
absolutely
coming to campus to actually attend in most cases. And just on that, I know the funding side of things, like it is, there's different models, I suppose, in terms of how the funding works. You might just talk to us about that, because
sure,
if you look at the programs, there's a detailed level of information on the Springboard Plus website. But it's just good to understand kind of what fees and funding are actually given by the HEA.
Absolutely. So Springboard Plus funded programs covers programs from level 6 to level 9 on the framework. So all level 6 programs are actually 100% funded regardless of your status. So whether you're unemployed, employed or a returner. And then level 7 to level 9 programs are 100% funded also for those who are unemployed and returners, and they're 90% funded for those in employment. So it's an absolutely fantastic initiative to help students pay for tuition fees as part of their studies.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. And they're all fully accredited as well, as you say,
yes,
level 6 to level 9. So, you know, you do come out with a qualification at the end of it. And just on that, there is eligibility criteria. And again, if you're not familiar with Springboard Plus, it is just something that is worth mentioning. And I suppose people sometimes have queries about that. So if you could just give us an idea of what that actually means.
Sure. So in terms of eligibility, there are 4 categories of individuals that can apply for Springboard Plus funding. There are those who are unemployed, those who are in employment, those who are returners. So they are individuals who have been economically dependent on a partner or a spouse for 9 out of the last 12 months. And then we have recent graduates. So the recent graduates category is quite specific. So it's anybody who graduated with an NFQ or a level 8 honours degree in the 12 months prior to the commencement of a programme, and they can commence one of our ICT skills conversion course programmes. And for us, that is our level 8 higher diploma in computing. Yes. So in terms of eligibility itself, then there's quite specific requirements that the HEA have. You must be resident in Ireland, and you must have been resident for 3 out of the last 5 years. Aside from that, then there are various visa requirements for non-nationals or for individuals for whom Ireland is not their home country. But so all of that information can be found actually on the Springboard platform itself at www.springboardcourses.ie, and there's a section called Am I Eligible? And it's very clearly outlined then exactly what those eligibility requirements are.
Brilliant. Look, that's really helpful, Catherine, and thank you very much. You were kind of tasked with giving the overview of what it is and how you apply, and obviously your contact details are available on the Springboard platform as well.
They are indeed. They are indeed.
Have questions, like you are our Springboard coordinator here at ATU Sligo, so you are available to kind of answer questions, whether it's about courses or eligibility or fees and any of that kind of stuff. So look, thank you, Catherine.
You're welcome.
We're going to move on to Stephen now, just to go through. It's great to have you here with us, Stephen, because I know you are a lecturer in biopharmaceutical sciences, and you are lecturing for quite a number of years on courses that have been Springboard approved. So it's just interesting to hear your side of things in terms of, you know,
absolutely. I suppose just to add a little bit of what Catherine said, we do have a number of courses that we run with NIBRT in Dublin as well, which are available for Springboard funding. NIBRT is seen as the provider of those, but we actually award the credits for them and give the certificates. So we've got 2 level 6 awards, one at aseptic biopharmaceutical operations, one in biopharmaceutical processing, and we also have 2 at level 9. And that one is a level 9 start and commissioning qualification and validation, and level 9 in bioindustry 4.0. I'm the course coordinator for the 2 level 6 programs at Sligo, and I could teach on both the level 9 programs. So just to add that in as well, because that sort of complements as well, Catherine, what we're
Thanks,
doing
Stephen,
ourselves directly. I suppose, Cleo, the biopharmaceutical industry, it's just been growing and developing over and over the last few years. It's a very exciting industry to be in, and it's quite large. I suppose maybe the general public maybe are not as aware about it, okay? We're very much aware about IT and everything like that, but I suppose there's many different opportunities in biopharma in Ireland, particularly around the Dublin, Cork, in the Sligo region as well, and different places. What it is, and very briefly, I suppose it's about how we make drugs in a biological way. Traditional medicines like our aspirins and our paracetamols are made using chemistry, like maybe what we've experienced in school, whereas biopharmaceuticals is about how we're using proteins and antibodies as medicines. And I suppose, you know, at a very simple level, at making a vaccine is a form of biopharmaceutical production. So this has been an area of rapid growth over the past years. There's a lot going on in the Limerick area as well, with new companies developing there. So there's a lot of jobs and a huge skills need for there to retrain people, and maybe people who have been in more traditional manufacturing roles or something like that, and need to get the skill set and the knowledge set to actually go into that industry. And the 2 level 6 programs that we have, that we award with NIBRD in aseptic biopharmaceutical operations and the biopharmaceutical processing, I suppose are very, orientated for that, for people who want to either dip their toe in education for the first time, perhaps, retrain where they've been in a sort of a parallel manufacturing area and want to learn about biopharmaceuticals, or just see whether they want to dip their toe into part-time education, or something like that. Obviously, the level 9 ones are more advanced for people who are experts in the area already or working in the area already.
Yeah, so I think like one of the things like you're saying there is that Springboard has continuously funded these kind of programs. There is a skills need, there's a skills gap, and people, you know, and they come into them. And also there is demand out there from an education perspective. Like we do get a huge number of students through the programs as well, and we see them progressing in their careers as well. So I suppose just in terms of like somebody who's working at the minute and they're considering this, you know, what's the level of commitment, or how does a typical like Springboard Plus program? I know it may be different from level 6.
Okay, well, level 6, I suppose, we'll just say our aseptic biopharmaceutical operations course. And that's broken down into 2 subjects per semester. A semester would run from September till Christmas, and then you would do your exams after Christmas, and then your second semester would run from February to May, and then your exams in May. Each of those semesters, you would do 2 subjects. One is what we call to be a 10 credit subject. So each of these, I suppose, are given a weighting as regards content and everything like that. So one subject would be 10 credits, one would be 5 credits. You would do 30 credits in each semester, and then at the end you would have your certificate. What that would entail, week by week, you would have a lecture a week online, live, with your lecturer in each subject. Obviously, yes, you would require a little bit of time. I shouldn't say obviously, but you would require time to study that lecture afterwards and I suppose understand it and process it a little bit more. But your time commitment is that. There's also assessments on top of it. For each subject, you may have 3 forms of assessment, or 3 assessments within any subject. They can vary. They might be maybe at level 6 multiple choice question exams, and then maybe an end of term exam, maybe a very small project to do, very small. Okay, so you may have 2 multiple choice question exams per subject per term, and then maybe an exam. You may have a small little assessment as well on top of that. And I mean that it wouldn't be of large body. If you were going to be studying this at level 9, okay, so that's equivalent to what we call postgraduate or master's level. The time commitment, I suppose you may be doing more subjects, 3 to 4 subjects in a semester, usually about 3. Again, it would be the live lecture each week, okay, interaction with lecturer, understanding the content. Multiple choice questions that might be part of the assessment, but you would be expected maybe to, you know, carry out maybe a research project as part of the subject. So there would be a greater time commitment with that research project, and you would have to present it at the end of the term as well. You would present that online, though. There wouldn't be a requirement to come to AT Sligo for that. But the time commitment at level 9 is going to be greater than the time commitment at level 6.
Yeah, no, that's good to just give that overview for people. And I know we will speak to Fergal now next, and Fergal is obviously able to have the first-hand knowledge of that. And Stephen, just from yourself, because again, you've seen people progress, the progression options. So people might be either considering or have done the course this in the past, like, you know, to be able to come in at a certain level and work through and kind of get major awards and that. Again, your experience seeing that with students, just briefly, if you can kind of give us an example.
Yeah, I have two nice stories. I was doing a presentation where a student was at level 9 at master's level. He was presenting to me at Christmas, and you know, we were on the Adobe Connect or Teams, and I was chatting about what you do, and he said, I came in and did the level 6 special purpose award in biopharmaceutical processing 11 years ago. Wow. And he started in that, and then he went on and did our higher cert in GMP, because that award is embedded in our higher cert in GMP, and that gave him the 120 credits at level 6. He then went on and did our level 7 in biopharmaceutical science degree, another 2 years. He then went on and did our level 8 in biopharmaceutical science degree and got his bachelor's degree all online part-time while he's working in industry. And now he's doing the level 9 certificates, which he hopes to will build him towards his master's, hoping about another year maybe. Yeah. So he's a great story.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's great to hear that, because it's just so doable if you take it in bite-sized chunks. So yeah. I suppose on that note, Stephen, thank you for your time.
No problem.
I'm going to move on and speak to Fergal. So Fergal, thank you for joining us. You are just finished off on your Springboard Plus program. You're just eagerly awaiting your results, I believe. So if you could talk us through kind of, you know, you studied a level 9 certificate in geotechnical and structural engineering. And it's just good to understand kind of your background, where you came from, why you decided to go on this course.
Yeah, thanks, Cleo. So yeah, I'm a chartered civil and structural engineer. I've close to 10 years experience in the industry. I suppose a number of years ago I did a master's degree, and more recently I did a number of online learning modules. So I suppose I had a keen sense of what I wanted out of an online course. I wanted basically to choose an education provider that could deliver high quality content in technical areas such as geotechnical and structural engineering. I suppose it was key for me that it was quality driven rather than quantity, which I'd seen in the past. And I suppose in this sense, ATU, Sligo and Springboard Plus kind of stood head and shoulders above the rest. I had a clear idea from last year and doing the open day that it was an excellent course. The structure and delivery methods were really student focused in terms of actually giving students applicable skills they could bring into the workplace, and that was something that maybe I had not experienced with other providers. Like I said, it was more quantity and less feedback, so it was kind of an easy decision in the end. Obviously, the funding is an advantage, but for me, based on the amount of effort, the amount of study I've put in anyway, it was more to do with the quality and the delivery and the structure of the course. So it was a clear decision, and I suppose it's one that that I'm glad I took at this stage.
And I know just in terms of like yourself taking it on, you're working full time as well. Like, you obviously had to kind of get some level of support to go ahead and do this. Like, how did you find that? Was your employer supportive of you going ahead and studying?
Yeah, no, there was great support from my employer. I suppose in terms of support from the course was probably the main thing that stood out from Springboard and ATU. I suppose initially you're given full access to Moodle, which is an educational platform, really user friendly for a student of any level, really. Integrated into this then is you've Microsoft Teams, which is used as part of group projects. So you're scheduling meetings, and it's very interactive. So that's a great resource to have on a course like this. Full access to this type of resource. And in terms of technical engineering resources, then you've got full access to IHS databases. You've got full access to research articles and journals through Science Direct and Emerald. You've also then, I suppose, one of the key things that sets, I suppose, this course apart for me was you've got full access to ATU Sligo's Kite computer for all the softwares. These are very expensive softwares that I know personally from working in a design office that certain members of a design team may or may not have access, but to have full access as part of this course, it really gives you that end-to-end learning experience. And I suppose there's a number of other things that Springboard provide in terms of soft skills, which maybe aren't as kind of obvious. You're given personal effectiveness and communication modules, which really help you develop your ability to communicate and build relationships as part of group projects. You're also taught how to manage stress and time management, which is it's essential when you're doing a course and you're trying to maybe work whether part-time or full-time. So you're really given a full kind of a 360 kind of support, you know, and resources that, along, I suppose, with excellent academic staff that are there, you know, to give you the content, but also to answer any question, you know, whether it's a good or a bad one, you could say. So no, I was really impressed with the supports provided on this course.
Great. And I know you mentioned just the key skills that you got. You know, you got a lot of practical, technical skills again, and all of this was delivered online. Like, did you ever have to come into campus, or was it kind of a full-time online? No,
it was full-time online. Actually, it was. I suppose it was kind of meant to be a slightly blended learning at the start with 1 or 2 workshops on site, but again, it ended up being full-time online, say. So it was again, I undertook kind of hybrid working, and I'm engaging in hybrid working. So I was able to kind of manage my time. And again, the course provided a lot of useful tips in terms of managing time effectively. So like it was an easy thing to manage, you know.
Yeah. And Fergal, I know just from speaking to you, you have decided to progress on to the next level as well. So you've dipped your toe in, as Stephen mentioned earlier, and you've caught the bug, have you?
Yeah. No, I mean, the best endorsement I could give the course is that I'd only actually signed up to do the certificate, but I suppose it's only increased my interest in the area of geotechnical and structural engineering, to the point of I'm planning to move on and do the master's, the research, the dissertation. So I suppose that's the best endorsement I can give, is that I've actually it's only increased my interest levels, which is great. Yeah, look, it's brilliant to hear, and thank you, Fergal, for your time. I'm sure now you've got a bit of your life back now that the studies are coming to an end, so do appreciate you giving up a Tuesday evening to talk to us. And look, again, we know that talking to students and anybody who's been through Springboard Plus or any of our online programs are really strong advocates in terms of actually, you know, you've lived the experience, you know kind of what was involved in terms of putting in the time, and you're coming out with the qualification at the end. And as you say, a ringing endorsement is to go back and study further. So listen, best of luck with your onward studies, and I really do appreciate you talking to us today. Yes. And look, that's been 20 minutes. We just had a brief chat about Springboard Plus and what it actually looks like this year at ATU Sligo, the courses that have been approved for funding, how much funding is available, and then I suppose from the lecturer's point of view, you know, what to expect, and from a student's point of view, you know, the level of kind of commitment, but also the reward at the end of it, around what you can actually get out of it as a student and how you can progress in your career. So look, that's us finished up today, and I'd like to thank everybody, the panelists, Catherine, Stephen and Fergal. And if you have, as I said, we're still live until 9 o'clock tonight, so if you have any further questions, do pop them in the question box, and I know our next live talk is due to start at 7:30, so thank you very much.